What's up everyone, it's Stevie, and today we're going to be talking about 10 different things you could do while bored in Islands. That's kind of weird to do, right? Like, if you're bored in a game, just play a different game. But what if you don't want to play another game just like me, and you're just looking for something to do? So I've got 10 different ideas you can use to unboard yourself. Is that a word? I don't think that's a word. I don't think that's a word, but maybe entertain yourself. So before I begin, you know what to do. Hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you are a gamer. So first up, if you haven't seen this yet, this was yesterday's video. This is so cool. I'm still really digging this. You know what I really want them to put out? I want them to put out like webs, because Minecraft has webs. Why don't we have webs? That'd be really cool. I could actually put webs all over this place. Dude, you could make like a spider den. Oh, if they come out with that. Oh, they also need spider mobs. We definitely need spiders in this game. Who agrees? Who agrees? Hit that like button if you agree we need spiders. Don't dislike if you don't want spiders. So starting with number one, my recommendation if you're really bored in Islands would be to try hardcore mode. What is hardcore mode, you might ask? So Jesse TC actually came up with hard mode, and my version is similar to his. Very, very similar. Mine, I call it hardcore mode. And basically what it means is you cannot play with other players. So essentially you can't play with other players. You can't even go to a published island to buy or sell anything. The nice thing is you don't need any economy XP, so you don't really even have to worry about that. So you can actually do this on an alt pretty easily. So if you want, just go create an alt and try hardcore mode. And how it works is you pretty much have to grind for everything. So the goal is to grind for, you know, all the way up to a smelter, get some drills, basically have everything you might need to be able to support yourself in the game and potentially make a ton of coins. So I was making millions just off of doing hardcore mode. Plus the nice thing about doing hardcore mode is you end up relying on your farms a lot more, because you do need coins in order to be able to get like seeds and totems and such. The funny thing about hardcore mode though is after some time you actually don't need any more coins. You only need like 1,000,000 coins in this game and you're pretty much set, unless you're going to try to do like maybe a starfruit farm. But even then, if you're doing hardcore mode, you don't have that many starfruit, and you can pretty much just, you know, work with Cletus here to build a really, really awesome farm. So, you know, hardcore mode is just a ton of fun. I've had a lot of you actually did it. I might actually create another series at some point for that. So when I do, I'll actually do it on an alt this time, not on this account, because the one thing that I ran into with hardcore mode, a lot of you don't realize, is that I couldn't really do videos very easily because I didn't have anything. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any like materials. I didn't, you know, I just didn't even have space. So it was really, really rough. So that's why I probably won't do another hardcore series with my main account, but I could on my alt. So that is number one. Definitely check out hardcore mode if you really want, you know, especially if you're into like grinding games and stuff. Hardcore mode will actually breathe a whole new life for you in Islands. In fact, you'll really experience Islands the way I think it was meant to be played, you know, without vendings. I mean, pretty much you don't need any vending machines. Next is to actually make pixel art. I know what you're saying. A lot of you purist builders out there like DB, pixel art is the bane of my existence. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But you know, pixel art's actually really, really fun. You know, it's kind of like making these statues. We're going to hit on these in a little bit, but pixel art is basically a form of statues, right? So in fact, I actually recommend doing statues over pixel art, but we're going to get to that. That's actually one of the items in a little bit. But pixel art's just a lot of fun. You can do like these little candy canes. It doesn't have to be like floating art in the sky, but it could be. The interesting thing about this is that means you're going to have to actually learn how to breed flowers, and it just gives you a really cool project to build. So, you know, whether you're into like Disney films, you know, basically just create a bunch of pixel art based on whatever you're into. So if you're into animals, maybe you're into horses, maybe you're into dogs, maybe you're into comic books, you know, movies, you name it, musicians, whatever it is, anime, you know, surround your island with pixel art. It's pretty cool. So pixel art is really easy. The other thing you can do, go to Google and type in like pixel art, and you can find pretty much images of pixel art for most of your favorite things. Like you can also type in icons and just size it down. You typically want to look for like 16 by 16 icons, or looking for 32 by 32s. Typically it's in the, you know, increments of 8, so 8 pixels. So if you're going to do it, you know, 48 by 48, 64 by 64, 96 by 96, and 96 by 96 is huge. So beware of that. That is a lot of blocks. But you will need to, you know, figure out how to breed flowers to get a lot of these colors that you're going to need, or just go and figure out how to trade. And I've actually done a lot of breeding flowers videos, so I will actually link one of them in the description for you to check out. On top of that, I'll also include a link to one of my hardcore mode series videos, so you can check that out. So number 3 is very similar to pixel art, like I said, but it's basically making statues, and this is really, 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 really fun. I love doing this. I had so much fun doing these two that I really want to do more. So expect to see a wizard boss statue pretty soon, and a Bufflecore statue. I'll probably make a bunch of statues just because it's so much fun. I might even make a giant fish, who knows? But but it's actually a lot of fun to do these statues. You typically just need to start with a little bit of a pixel art kind of feel to it, and you start making it 3-dimensional, just like I did with this. You know, I basically made a character that was, you know, pixel art, and then I started bringing his head out and just kind of made it a little bit more 3-dimensional. So it's not that hard to do. too. If you didn't watch my video on how I built these two, and if you want to follow along, definitely check out yesterday's video. I will link that in the description as well. Next up is number 4, and that's to prank your friends. So I actually did a whole pranking video series the other day on how to prank your friends, and I've also that's actually the second video I've done for that. It's just a lot of fun to mess around with your friends, as long as they're, as long as they have a sense of humor and used to, your kind of sense of humor. Now, if you're trolling people that you don't know, that's probably not so nice. I wouldn't recommend doing that, okay? It's definitely not a cool thing to do. So definitely consider that before you actually start trolling randoms. But that is actually a lot of fun, just like I did with this video with the impossible maze, especially if you're gonna like give them a prize afterwards for the trouble. Next up is to create an obby. So, obbies are actually a lot of work to do, but they're really fun. And it's especially rewarding when you have players that actually will go and play it. They visit your island. Most players will try to beat your obby. So obbies are actually, in my opinion, underrated in islands. They're just kind of hard to find. There's so many shops around and stuff that they kind of overwhelm. I almost wish the islands team would actually create like an obby tab versus a store tab or something like that, so people can actually see like mini games or maybe there's like a stores. I just feel like it would be cool to actually visit islands that are doing more event-based or mini games versus stores, because typically when you go to this publish tab, you assume everyone's a shop, right? And in fact, expect an obby video very soon here. I'm building something for a very special reason. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be really cool. Next up is a trade-up challenge. So a lot of you have probably never heard of a trade-up challenge, but it's something that I've actually tried a few times. It's really, really hard to do. But the reason why it's really hard to do is it puts you at risk for scamming. So someone actually could scam you if you're not careful. And so that's why I haven't really done any videos with this, because I just feel like during the recording, it could actually go south very quickly and it would waste many hours of my video. But if you're not recording, then you got plenty of opportunity to also recover. So how this works, the trade-up challenge works, is you take a very, very simple item that's only worth maybe like 100 or 2 coins, but you can buy like a seed or, especially a berry seed. I would actually say like anything that comes with your starter island may be the better choice. Like maybe you start with like a fruit sapling, maybe you start with, some like wheat seeds or something like that, and whatever your starter account begins with. And what you do is you take that item and you try to trade it up. So you're basically going to trade that berry seed for something bigger, and then whatever you get for that berry seed, you're going to trade up again and try to get something bigger. And ultimately you're going to probably do like maybe 10, 20, 30 trades and end up with something really, really valuable, maybe like a ruby staff or something else, or maybe a smelter. So definitely, a fun event to do. The problem is that Islands does not have trading in the game, so it's very risky to do this without potentially getting scammed, and I just don't really want to waste 3 hours on a video and then get scammed and then have to start over. So that's why I have not made a video on the trade-up challenge yet. I've been planning on doing this for so long. So the trade-up challenge actually originated in some other games, and the most notable would be Bubblegum Sim, where you actually start with like a really common pet, and then you eventually trade up all the way up to like maybe like a really great secret pet. And it just takes a lot of work, but it's actually a lot of fun to do. Next up is building a really awesome waterfall. So obviously I have these waterfalls over here. These are actually really, really cool to me. If you haven't seen those, definitely check out my building my island video. But building a waterfall is actually really, really cool. So essentially what you can do is you can set up like, maybe a mountain like this, and then you typically see this in mountains, but you don't have to have a mountain. You can actually do it with like maybe even a smaller waterfall, maybe like in a stream or something that around your island. So you don't have to go very high. You can actually do like a waterfall up here, and you can go down maybe 4 or 5, 6 blocks, and it could just be kind of like this little bit of a waterfall effect. Put some rocks in there, put some, borders and stuff. So waterfalls are actually a lot of fun. Plus you can kind of, you can actually kind of slide down them. So building a waterfall on your island would definitely be a lot of fun. Next, with number 8 is actually building a biome setup like this. So if you don't have one of these kind of setups on your island yet, why not? They're super cool. One of the coolest ones I've seen is actually by Beef Plays. If you haven't checked his island out, he's got a couple videos on his channel on his island, and McCrame, and he actually built all that, and it just looks really, really cool. And the reason why I have this set up, honestly, it just feels like a theme park. That's why I kind of like this, is it really feels like a theme park. And it's just I've been doing this for quite a while now. My island before this island actually had a little bit of this too. So it didn't have quite as much of these like statues and stuff, but it definitely had a lot to them. And the other thing is for like these seasonal type items, it's really cool to be able to actually, display them somewhere, because typically what's going to happen is you're having your white snowman on a random location that has nothing to do with snow. And this actually looks a lot better because this looks like, oh, okay, this is the snow area. So it's just a great way for you to be able to display your collections. I'm actually going to be redoing this water tank pretty soon as well. So this is just really plain looking. So the cool thing about it is you can continue to improve upon them. And it just feels like little mini builds. You can actually do really, really cool stuff doing this, especially with very minimal blocks. It is not very expensive to do this. Next up with number 9 is creating memes for islands. I know this sounds really weird, but we have a lot of meme creators on the Discord for islands. And sometimes I actually do meme reviews. In fact, I have a meme review coming up pretty soon. So now is a great time if you want to get your memes to actually be shown in a video. I will be actually creating a memes channel probably sometime next week, and you can submit your awesome memes. So start thinking about some really funny memes you can create for islands, and maybe your meme will actually get displayed in a future video. Next is finally with number 10, which is to create videos on islands. I know that sounds weird, but there's actually not that many YouTubers for islands, and that's really just something I don't really know why. I think part of it is because a lot of YouTubers can't really find much content to create in islands, which is kind of a head scratcher because it's like Minecraft. So consider how many Minecraft YouTubers are. So, you know, it just really depends. And granted, we don't have a lot of PvP in this game yet. So once that ever comes out, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot more content. But, you know, the fact is that this game actually has a ton of content to create, and you can actually make some really cool build designs. So like if you're, you know, a really great builder, why not create a video of you building? Even if you don't have to talk. A lot of people are, you know, afraid or shy of talking. You don't have to talk. Just do a recording of, you know, whatever you're building. Put some subtitles where you need to, and you're done. Look up some of the best videos on YouTube for certain Roblox games or even Minecraft, and most of them are just gonna be subtitles. So I wouldn't worry about that. Just put some good music on. It's a great way for you to show off, you know, your builds, and, you know, it just doesn't require that much work. You can even do it on mobile. So mobile players, you know, they've got screen recorders now. No reason for you to not be able to record and make some videos. So, and of course, you can post those in my self-promo channel. If you create anything, go ahead and post in my Discord under self-promo, and definitely, you know, share it with others. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you and gave you some ideas on what you could do when you're bored in Roblox Islands. Like I said, if you're bored, I mean, I've been playing this game almost every day since it came out. So consider I've gotten bored a few times, but I always come up with something to do. I always come up with something to do. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next vid. Peace.